it's time for Mic Drop. And, Jeezy, you have some Le'Veon Bell
Well, we're going to start here by explaining.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear this one.
Me too. I'm ready.
We were talking earlier about, is he going to show up? Maybe. And everybody's like, well, wait a minute. Why would he not show? Just to make it crystal clear about what happened this week. Our Tom Pelissero reported, and others had reported it as well. It just so happened that it got attention this week as well. Tom said that even if he does not show this year, because the deadline is Tuesday. If he doesn't show Tuesday, he can't play football. That's what Tuesday means, okay? If he doesn't, he can still progress to the third franchise tag. Basically skip the second franchise tag. Remember, he played in the first one last year. So he would go to $25 million or something like that. A number
the team
that
is not
team
going to
would
play.
never,
Right? Yeah.
It's the quarterback number for next year, would never put on him. Now, here's where the confusion kind of came in a little.
Because it was thought that he wouldn't have the accrued season, right? If he didn't.
The thought was basically the contract, it's called toll. The contract would toll, meaning whatever your number was this year, that would be the number next year. And a lot of people believe that to be the case. But the NFL is not contesting it, and the NFLPA believes it, that he is going to basically skip that second tag, even if he does not show up, to get to that higher number, which means he would be an unrestricted free agent without a franchise tag, open to negotiate with everybody
So
else.
Kirk Cousins could have did this.
Well, he's a quarterback anyway, though.
Yeah.
But you're talking about non-quarterback guys. I'm going to get to that in a second. But here's where the confusion kind of came in this week. Our MJD was on Dave Damashek's podcast and said, well, now they're studying the paperwork and the CBA and going, the agent, that is, Adisa Bakari and Le'Veon Bell, because the implication was that they had no idea that this was the case. Now, Bakari had mentioned back in the summer, that the third tag was coming if he played out this year. But nobody in his camp seemed to know that you could basically sit out the whole year and duck this second tag and get yourself.
You don't think he knew?
To free agency.
Because he's still not there.
We haven't heard anything from Bakari since this was mentioned by MJD, who is represented, by the way. Yeah. Was represented as a player by Bakari. So the interesting thing now is, what's the upside if you're Le'Veon Bell to coming back? You're opening yourself up. You already punted on half of the $14 million, $7 million plus or whatever it's up to right now. What's the upside to coming now and collecting that back in, opening yourself up to injury if you're going to skip that second tag anyway? Now, here's where it gets really interesting to me.
I thought it was already interesting.
I doubled back. well, here's why it gets, because now it's more than just Le'Veon Bell. I doubled back with some agents this week who either have guys approaching a franchise tag or approaching a second franchise tag. Did you know about this? And they said no, but to be fair to me, meaning them, I don't have a guy on a second tag. I would have studied this up and down, and I would have known. They all say that, of course. Yeah. Anyway, now going forward, if you're a player who is going to be a multiple franchise tag guy, and again, quarterbacks are excluded, you now know that this loophole is available to you. So you may say to a team, even if it's only to bluff, okay, we're going to play out the first franchise tag, and then we're going to sit out the next one. So you better give us a long-term deal, because now we know, because of Le'Veon Bell, that there's an escape hatch to avoid the franchise tag.
But the player wants to play.
Well, that's the downside. And that's why the league isn't really fighting back on this, because you have to have a guy who's willing to give up, A, the money on the franchise tag, which Bell did. I mean, I know there's this talk of, like, Des Bryant, this is why he's holding out. Okay, yeah, he also is punting on maybe all $14 million and change this year. So you have to be willing to do that, and you also have to be willing to sit out an entire year. But again, it's available now as at least a chip to play during the negotiations to teams going forward and saying, well, Le'Veon sat out for a year, and they're also monitoring this. They want to see what happens going forward. If he gets a big deal in the spring, which I do expect him to get, they'll also take that and say, well, if it worked out for Le'Veon, it could work out for me.